Hi there. It's been a very long time since we've been in class together, but I hope you've continued to learn through the Google Classroom assignments that Mrs. Smith and I have been creating for you. Today we're going to start a new project called the Math of Flowers. I'll give you all the details, but the project is due on the 14th of April. So you have more than a week to work on it, and hopefully it'll be fun in the process. Here are the details for our project, the Math of Flowers. For this project, we will describe flowers using math. What do you mean by that? Your job is to find 5 different flowers and take a picture of each flower, or you can make a sketch. Where do you find the flowers? Well, you can find them in your yard, you can go on a walk, you can get pictures from a book, or if you're not allowed to go outside, you can look up pictures of flowers on the internet. Then what do? Well, we're going to build a Google slide presentation, or you can make a paper book with sketches in it. 1 picture per page, plus 1 mathematical description per page. How do I make a mathematical description of a flower? Well, you just need to write 2 sentences about the flower using math words. So you ask, what are math words? Well, they can be anything from geometric shapes. We could use circles, squares, rectangles, pentagons, any shape that you can see in the flower. You can talk about the symmetry of the flower. Does it have mirror symmetry, radial symmetry? What types? What angles do you see? You could actually measure some of the angles with a protractor if you'd like. Do you see any patterns in the flowers? And you might not just want to look at one flower, but there might be patterns from one flower to the next in a particular group of flowers that you see growing. What numbers do you see in the flower? And I'm not talking about physical numbers, but things like counting. If you have certain numbers of the flower shapes or the flower parts, you can describe the flower that way. How are the petals of the flower arranged? You could also talk about that. Do they overlap? Are they aligned? Are they adjacent? Those are all math words. You can also take physical measurements, such as the height, the width, the diameter, the circumference. For those, you're going to need a ruler, but you can also use those as math words. So you might ask, well, I don't really know much about a flower, so how do I describe it? Well, again, on the internet, you can find lots of pictures showing the parts of the flower. I've labeled a few here. You can see I've labeled petals. Daffodils are quite common at this time of year, and the bell part of that flower is called the corona. On the other ones on the left, those are cherry blossoms, and you can see I've shown you where the filament is, and the little parts that stick out that just look like dots, those are called anthers. So now, what exactly do you need to do? You need to, number 1, create a Google slide presentation or a hand-drawn picture book. You need to have at least 5 flower pictures, 1 on each page, along with at least 2 sentences using math words to describe the flower. Then, when your presentation is finished, turn it in on Google Classroom by the 14th of April.